Welcome to our Depresculinity program, Masculine Intelligence for Men's Depression. And what I'm going to present to you over the next 2 days is not quite what you might think it would be from the title. This isn't about being down and out and you're some sad sack kind of guy. This has something to do with what's going on in our society these days too. We'll get into all the details as we move along here, but essentially one of the things we've noticed at men's psychology is that the past few decades there have been so many cultural changes, maybe beginning with feminism in the 60s and 70s, that have kind of unexpectedly, unintentionally started to maybe disempower men a bit in our society. And it has something to do with technology as well. A lot of what I'm into, as you guys know, is evolutionary psychology, but I'm also what would be called a unification theorist. So all of the courses that we have interlock and integrate with each other. And I'm going to show you a bit how that works too, right at the get-go. But as far as evolution goes, many, many thousands of years ago, probably hundreds of thousands or even millions of years ago, males have always dominated since those times because we have larger, more muscular bodies. But with the advent of computers, these days we all use computers for everything we do for work for the most part. And that has been a great equalizer for women. So women have as much, and now in many ways you're going to see more power than males do, certainly more economic power. And that's really on the rise. And our own identities have so much to do with our career status. And not just money, but what we do for a living as a mission for our lives. That is starting to get into a bit of danger unintentionally. There's no secret cabal of powerful women who are out to get us or anything like that. It's just normal group behavior. Whatever group is in the most power wants to hold on to that power. So depresculinity is a brand new phrase or word that I have coined that I think is pretty descriptive of a kind of condition that men have these days that isn't about being, mentally ill, so to speak, or completely impaired where you can't go to work or you can't date or you can't have relationships. But there are so many men out there that just don't feel fantastic about their lives or feel like they're honored everywhere they go just for being men. One of the unfortunate things that I encountered the last time I was in London, and in London I was talking to a woman in a social venue, and she said, you're American, I have something to say to you. There's a difference between British men and American men, and British women and American women, and this is what I think it is. She said, in England, a man is considered honorable until proven otherwise. But in America, a man is considered dishonorable until proven otherwise. I was like, wow, that is profound. So there are a lot of forces coming to bear that work against you feeling good and work against you not just going through the motions, going to work and drinking the Kool-Aid, but feeling great about what you do as a man, feeling great in your social life. And it's not just about social skills that you can learn in many of these dating trainings. It has something to do with your own identity and the culture around you, what you have to contend with. So depresculinity essentially is a way of addressing this kind of not feeling great about who you are and what your role in society is and what you're capable of. There used to be a term called melancholia in my field, and what melancholia is this kind of completely treatment-resistant depression. This was even before the day of pharmacology and antidepressants. It was like no kind of therapy would help it. And then coming into the 40s, 50s, and beyond, no kind of antidepressant treatment. No medicines would help it either. And eventually it just dropped out of the lexicon. We tend to not use that word anymore in my field, melancholia. And it's like this profound, deep, like existential crisis kind of depression that both men and women could have. But I actually think it's gender specific. I think that's what explains why it was treatment resistant, why there was nothing you could do about melancholia. Because no medicine will make you feel like a man. even if you could, go to the store and buy testosterone injections, that's not going to give you a vibrant dating life just by doing that. And it certainly isn't going to give you the dream career that you were made for. It's not going to address your life story and what's happened in your life story. It's completely non-specific. So we're going to get a little bit into the biology of things. I'm going to also show you a quick video just a few minutes in here, too, to really set things up right. But this is not going to be on choosing antidepressants or what different antidepressants do. That is a well-established discipline in psychiatry. If somebody has something that's, clinical grade, standard depression, definitely go to a local therapist and doctor for a prescription if they decide together with you that makes sense. That's not what this is about. This is about what you can do for yourself and how you can communicate to yourself and to others and to women and to other men in our Western society these days to be able to combat this situation called depresculinity. Okay? So let me show you a few things, beginning with us, Men's Psychology and Men's Psychology magazine. What we're about is helping men build skill with women dating and relationships. That's one major area of your life. Work and finding a career mission, not just a job, but what you and only you could do better than all other men. Success, happiness, and fulfillment, which is kind of the department we're in this time, talking about your mood, but then how that ripples into everything else. Personal growth and character maturity. We use masculine intelligence in the education, discovery, innovation, and evolution of being a man. Okay, so that's what we're about. Now we're going to focus down heavily on happiness and what is that? And it's gender specific. It's a major point that we're going to make. And this is a new phrase you may not have heard me use before, masculine intelligence. What do you guys think I mean by that?
To me, I guess masculine intelligence would be using the observant ego to have an awareness of your male instincts and then being able to take action on that, to get in touch with your core masculinity so that you feel powerful and you understand how they sway you and take that into account.
Exactly. Like my dad or granddad might have said something like, I know what time it is, right? It's like being awake, aware, and savvy to what's going on around you. Not just locally, but globally. What's going on in our culture and how does that impact your psychology, right? In all these areas of being a man. So if we looked at these 4 areas quickly, I want to show you how everything integrates, okay? Those of you who are familiar with some of my older programs, one I did 8 years ago with a guy named David D., you might be familiar with. That was like me just starting out. And since that time, I have all these various building blocks of psychology. So you're going to recognize maybe some diagrams in one program that you might see in a different program, maybe even going back as far as 8 years ago. Don't be alarmed by that. It's just that the human mind works the way it works, and it has all these working parts. And what I've done is in a visual way, in a graphic algorithm way, in a puzzle piece kind of way, I've essentially decoded a sort of periodic table of the elements of the mind. So we have all these little working parts, and we can put them together like you'd put together different atoms to make a molecule. What we're doing with this course is taking all those working parts and assembling them for you this weekend in a way that completely addresses mood and depression, sadness, anger in a specific male context. This is the category that masculine intelligence in men's depression or depresculinity fits into. We're going to be dealing with an area of the mind that evolutionary psychologists call the mammalian brain. Now, a lot of times when you do a dating training with us, we're dealing purely just with the reptilian brain, with the area of the mind that's involved with sexual attraction only. This time we're dealing a lot with emotions and how that impacts things. So if you would suspect that you might have this little condition that we've recognized called depresculinity, you're going to find that, yes, it's going to impact your ability to attract women, but it's just going to massively impact an inability to keep a woman, to maintain a girlfriend relationship, or to move beyond that into any kind of commitment. This is where you get really impaired in that area of dating by depresculinity. So what is depresculinity? Nobody is talking about it, but both men and women are feeling its effects in every area of life. And I'm glad you guys are here, because there's a natural male instinct that has shame to it to admit any kind of weakness. Now, luckily you're going to be discovering that this is not a shameful body of knowledge to learn. It's about empowering yourself, and that's a very good thing. But men find it shameful to even think about, let alone explore, causes of mood trouble that they have. They won't talk